All right, everybody, we need to have the talk. We need to talk about using protection. Well, I bet I was about 15 and a half years old when my dad sat me down and said, son, we need to talk about using protection. Okay, I know this conversation is going to get a little awkward, right? But it kind of went like this. And he says, son, when you're outside working in the garage, playing with your wood, you need to be responsible. You need to wear protection at all times. You need to be responsible for your own protection. Okay, I'm with it. I understand. But then it went into a different direction. Son, you need to make sure you wear your safety glasses and wear a mask. Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to be talking about masks today. I was contacted by BASECAMP to review their mask. I haven't tried it yet, and it could be awesome. I hope it is, because I'm really looking for a better mask, or it could be terrible. We're going to find out, and I hope you stick around to do just that. Okay, here's an analogy. A holster is a lot like a mask. Bear with me. I carried a firearm for about 20 years and carry it all day long. It's got to be comfortable. It's got to be functional. And if it isn't, you're not going to wear it. You're not going to use it. So then you buy another holster and another. Well, masks are the same thing. If it doesn't fit right, if it doesn't work right, you're not going to use it. So I have a couple of masks that I've kind of fine-tuned and I use. One in particular is not very good, and I'll show that to you in just a second. The other one is absolutely bulletproof, but it's heavy. So here's the deal. My go-to is a 3M mask, and it's very simple, it's effective. It doesn't work very well. I hope you can see inside here. It's dirty. It's really dirty. So what happens is that the fit is kind of decent. I could use my Darth Vader voice here. It fits decent, but if I move my face just a little bit, then I am getting all sorts of this fine dust in here. And that's not good. At the end of the day, when you get cleaned up and you blow your nose and you look in the napkin and go, oh, wow, I've got walnut boogies everywhere. You didn't filter that air very well. My second mask is this guy here. It's an Air Shield Pro. The thing's a beast. It's got HEPA filters. It's got needs to be charged. It has a powerful fan in there. And what that does, it pressurizes the inside of this space. The elastic seals fairly loosely around your face, but it's pushing air out, so you're not breathing in the dust. And the downside to this thing is it's heavy. If you've ever worn a motorcycle helmet, you can feel it at the end of the day. Well, you definitely feel this at the end of the day too. So I'm looking for something that is more effective than this leaker and more comfortable than this guy. And I'm hoping this new BASECAMP fits the bill. So let's open it up, let's talk about it, and we'll get into it right now. I've unmasked the BASECAMP dust mask. The first thing I noticed is the weight, or the lack of. I had to go in the house and weigh this thing. It only weighs 2 ounces. That's crazy. Now, also inside the bag is a little bit of foam, and you can see they're just little foam strips, and that's a means of making some fine-tuning adjustments with your nose bridge, and I'll show you that in just a second. Now, it also came with 4 filters. I like that. That was generous of them. And these filters are actually pretty special. They've been tested, and it says that they are 99.6% efficient. That's crazy. Gotta love that. Now, there's 2 different straps. This is the strap that goes kind of along your head here, and it's got these sliders, and that's the adjustment on how to snug this thing down or loosen it up. It's also got a neck strap, and this is all Velcro based, so tons of adjustment, and that's good. So what I'm going to do, well, let's actually talk about this guy right here. These little vents, they're one-way vents, and they are exhausting your hot, humid air. Let's go back. I don't want to go back, but let's go back to the COVID era. And if you wore a mask at all, N95 mask, what a miserable, miserable experience. Hard to breathe. You're trapping in all that heat and that moisture. It's so funky. This will expel that all. Now, this is the nose bridge, and it's got metal on the inside, but it's coated with I would say it's a heavy plastic on the outside, and definitely not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. So that's how you do some fine tuning. And, you know, it's important to note, like if you've ever been a scuba diver, and I was a diver for most of my life, they sell hundreds of different types of masks. And the reason being is that everybody's face is a little bit different. There's no one size fits all. So by having this strip for somebody with a more petite face, that's probably going to make this mask work just for you. I've got a fat head, so I don't need an insert. Okay, so let's get this thing on and see how it does. Okay, so just see how I've got the strap up a little bit on the high side. And again, these are the adjusters. Let's get this back on. To tighten this, with both hands, you just go ahead and you start sliding that slider downward, and that snugs things up. Now the neck strap with the Velcro, I'm just going to get it gently snug. You don't want to have it so tight that you feel like you're restricted and you're walking around like a zombie. So there's that. Now I have this too tight. Again, fat head. So my sliders are almost touching. I wear a size 7 7/8 hat, so on the large side. Okay, I've got it nicely snugged in. I'm going to run my fingers just to see how snug it is, and I've got really nice fitment. Okay, so I'm happy about that. Feels good, and you can hear my voice when I'm using my 3M. I sound like Darth Vader. But teaching a class, I could wear this and I think everybody could hear me. So that's a real bonus right there. When you see me doing videos, you probably have never seen me wear a mask, and that's simply because you can't hear me. So I may wear a mask in some of these videos. We'll see. But when I'm working alone, I do wear a mask. And I'll tell you a sad story, a dumb story. I was a little sloppy with wearing a mask because it wasn't working so much. And back in November, I ended up with a sinus infection. I'd never had a sinus infection in my life. Doctors, medications, CT scans, talk of surgery, and I finally cleaned it up. It took 6 months, 6 months of feeling kind of crappy. And if you see my previous videos, you probably heard me for a number of those videos sounding like I had a cold. It was a sinus infection, and I believe it was probably caused by wood particulate, wood dust. And some wood is more dangerous than others. I was using a lot of some exotic woods, and I think that probably got me in trouble. So, okay, here's what I'm going to do. At the very end of the video, I'm going to go through the nuts and bolts and give you some of the nerdy details about this mask, and that's important to know. And I'll be talking about the price point, and I'm going to give you my 100% honest opinion. In the meantime, I'm going to time lapse, do a few things around the shop. I've got my Festool shop vac that needs to be cleaned. That's major, nasty, fine dust. I've got my shop vac over there that needs to be cleaned. Yeah, I'm going to do some sanding, and at the end of the day, I'm going to know if this thing works or not when I'm all wrapped up and I blow my nose. And if I have wood boogies, well, it didn't do any better than my 3M. To order your mask, go to bcmask.com and use my coupon code DSW10. Hey, if you would, hit subscribe, hit the bell, you'll get all my notifications. Well, that was kind of interesting. Um, my glasses are very dusty. My arms are dusty. I washed my hands just because I'm going to touch the mask. I think there's some dust on the outside, but let's take a quick look. Okay. Perfectly clean. How about that? So that was a lot of sawdust, and the super fine stuff that came from my Festool sander and the two other or dust extraction systems. So, that is the nastiest of the nasty. I filled that 55-gallon garbage can with about a third of the capacity. So that was a lot of material. I made a big show out of uh, kind of scooping all that fine sawdust stuff. I wasn't looking to try to keep it really under wraps. I just wanted to torture test this mask, and it did. It got torture tested. The router table was kind of a no-brainer. It's pretty easy. Those are bigger chunks, but I think the true test was with that very fine dust. So here's a few impressions. So I was working hard at getting everything cleaned, shaking it, and it's actually the first hot day we've had here in Idaho. It's probably 85 degrees. So I got a little bit on the warm side, and the mask stayed comfortable. It got warm in there, but it wasn't like the N95 warm. It wasn't nasty at all. I wasn't having sweat pouring down my face or anything like that inside the mask. So that was a real win. I think that one-way valve is doing a great job, and I don't feel like I've inhaled a bunch of garbage. Um, we're all adults here. I can be nasty for a minute. No sawdust, no shavings, no fine dust, nothing. It came up perfectly clean. So I'm impressed. In fact, I'm impressed enough to say, I've got a garbage can right over there. You ready? He shoots. He scores. That 3M mask is done. Okay, let's talk maintenance. Super, super easy. So to remove the filter portion here, you've got the back side of the one-way valve, and it says open and close. So what you do is you take your fingers and you twist this 1/4 turn counterclockwise, and that pops out the little valve. And on the back side, where that one-way valve is, you've got the little plastic piece right here. So you can wash all that if you desire, and then the actual filter portion would just lift right out. Now, what I would do is only do one side at a time. That way, if you have to refer back to what you did, make sure you've got all the directions done. But to install this again, I'm going to simply slide that valve back in and kind of index it around the material on the back side. Okay. And I'm going to make sure that this is pointing down away from my glasses, and give it a 1/4 turn. Double check my work to make sure everything's lined up properly. It is, and I'm good to go. Now the actual black portion, that mask portion, is washable. Not in the washing machine. Use lukewarm water, maybe a little bit of soap, and go ahead and wash it, rinse it, squeeze it out, let it dry, and you'll be good to go. The mask portion should last you years. There's really no wear points, and if you keep it clean, your Velcro is not going to get all gummed up. And speaking about keeping it clean, when you're done at the end of the day, put it back in the bag. That'll make sure that it stays nice and clean, and you're good to go for the next time. Okay, let's talk about a few of the nerdy details, and we're just about done. And we'll talk about the price. Okay, let's get into the geeky stuff here. The filter I mentioned was a 6-layer filter. It's 99.6% efficient. The material of the mask itself is breathable, super lightweight, so you can wear it virtually all day, not like my air shield, for instance. And let's see, breathability, it was very comfortable. I was very impressed with that. The material of the mask and the filter, it's allergen free. So for those of you that need that, this would also be good for, I have a friend in Georgia who absolutely dies in the spring and early summer months when those pine trees drop their pollen. I mean, if you needed to be outside like her, where she normally doesn't go outside at all during that time, she could get outside wearing a mask like this. We had a farm. Cleaning the chicken coop was always lovely when you had 200 chickens. I would wear this for sure. That worked out really well. And the price. Okay. There's going to be a link in the show notes where you can find this. The mask itself is under 25 bucks. The filters, a pack of 12, is about 20 bucks. So it's extremely reasonable. I don't even want to tell you what I paid for that 3M mask that I just dunked in the garbage can, and my air shield was hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So this is a winner for me. Now, I did get this as a freebie. Again, you saw the price point. They're giving me an affiliate link. You can buy it directly through my link, and I would appreciate it if you do. I get a very tiny amount of money, and but it helps my shop continue to keep the lights on, and one day I'd like to have air conditioning in here. Who knows? So the link is there, but here's the deal. Right over there, you see the blue rug over that laser engraver. You know, that wasn't an affiliate. It wasn't a freebie to me. I haven't done a review on it, even though I promised to do it a few times. And I've had so many problems with that. You know, I'm not gonna give them a plug. Now, if I didn't like the BASECAMP filter, the mask, I wouldn't have done the video. In fact, I would have written back to the nice lady that I'm working with, and I'm saying, you know what, Hannah, I'm sorry, but I am not a fan of the product. But that's not the case. I do like the product. I like it very much. It worked extremely well for me. The value is there. It was highly effective, as you saw. So I have zero qualms in recommending this product. So there you go. Thank you for following along, everybody. I truly appreciate it. Hit subscribe, hit the bell. You are helping me live my dream of sharing knowledge and wisdom to the YouTube community. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.